This video introduces TinyGPU, a minimal Verilog GPU implementation built to explain how a GPU works from the ground up. The motivation for this project is the lack of public resources covering the low-level hardware details of GPUs. Unlike CPUs, which are well documented, GPU architecture is mostly hidden. TinyGPU focuses on three key areas: architecture, parallelism, and memory. We will explore what a GPU looks like inside and how its components fit together, how the SIMD model is implemented in hardware, and how the GPU manages limited memory bandwidth. The design of TinyGPU is kept minimal for readability. It consists of fewer than 15 Verilog files, an 11 operation instruction set, 16 registers per thread, and 256 rows of data memory. It is fully documented with working matrix kernels and simulation traces. Here is a high-level overview of TinyGPU. External memory is on the left, and the GPU itself is on the right, enclosed in the dashed box. We have program memory and data memory, with their respective controllers. Today, we will walk through every block: cache, device control register, dispatcher, and the compute cores. The device control register is how the host communicates with the GPU. To launch a kernel, you load the program, load the data, and set the thread count into this register. For example, thread_count equals 8. The kernel launches when you pull the start signal high. With thread count set to 8 and the start signal equal to 1, the GPU begins executing the kernel. Once the kernel starts, the dispatcher is the unit that decides which core does what. It distributes the work across the available compute cores, in this case Core 0, Core 1, and Core 2, which are currently idle. The dispatcher breaks the thread pool into blocks. A block consists of threads grouped to run together on a single core in parallel. Block 0 here contains threads T0 through T3, which will run on a single core. In action, block 0 flies down to core 0 and begins executing. The dispatcher then moves on to scheduling the next block of threads, which in a larger system would be assigned to other idle cores. Inside a core where a single block runs, we find a scheduler, a fetcher, a decoder, and per-thread units: the ALU, LSU, program counter, and a register file. The simple scheduler runs every thread in the block in lockstep. It executes the instructions, such as ADD R0, R1 foot, for all threads simultaneously, keeping all threads in sync. Every instruction goes through a 6-stage execution pipeline: fetch, decode, request data, wait for memory, execute on the ALU, and update registers and NZP flags. In real GPUs, pipelining allows several stages to be in flight at once. In the fetch and decode stages, the fetcher pulls a 16-bit instruction word from program memory, such as 0001, 001, 001, 100, when the program counter is 14. The decoder then translates this into control signals like quote, op equals ADD and register assignments. The ALU, or arithmetic logic unit, performs operations like add, subtract, multiply, and divide. It also includes the compare function, CMP, which sets the NZP flag for branching purposes. Data is input from registers R1 and R2, and the result is written back to R0. The load store unit, or LSU, handles communication with global memory. Loads and stores are asynchronous, meaning a thread waits until the memory controller responds before continuing execution. Memory access is slow. Memory controllers manage requests from multiple cores. Since many cores compete for a few channels, some memory requests must queue up to match the real bandwidth. Each thread has a dedicated register file with 16 registers, R0 to R15. R0 through R12 are general-purpose read-write registers. The last 3 registers are read-only and hold thread identity data for SIMD operation. SIMD stands for Single Instruction, Multiple Data. A single ADD instruction is executed by all 4 threads concurrently, each operating on its own data in the registers, resulting in 4 different outputs. The identity registers %block IDX, %block DIM, and %thread IDX are read-only. They tell the thread where it is globally, how large its block is, and its index within the block. This allows the same code to access different data elements. The instruction set architecture, or ISA, has only 11 instructions, enough to write complex kernels like matrix addition and matrix multiplication. Instructions include branching, comparing, arithmetic operations, and memory access. Branching uses the NZP register, which holds negative, 0, and positive flags set by the CMP instruction. The BRNZP instruction then checks these flags to determine whether to jump to a new address, enabling loops and conditionals. In this example kernel of a simple 1x8 matrix addition, 8 threads are launched, 1 for each element. Each thread adds 1 pair of elements and writes 1 result back to memory. This shows the full matrix addition kernel code. The code is concise and demonstrates calculating the memory addresses and performing the load, add, and store operations for each thread. The 2 key lines to achieve SIMD functionality are multiplication of %block IDX and %block dim, followed by the addition of %thread IDX. This calculates a globally unique index for each thread. The simulation runs end-to-end using CocoaDB and Icarus Verilog. This log shows the execution trace cycle by cycle, confirming that the threads compute the correct result. C equals 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. For a more complex example, consider matrix multiplication of 2x 2 matrices. 4 threads are launched, 1 for each output element. Each thread computes its target cell in the result matrix using a loop. The inner loop of the matrix multiplication kernel uses basic arithmetic to calculate the row and column indices. It repeatedly loads A and B elements, multiplies them, and adds to an accumulator, using CMP and BRN for flow control. A simplifying assumption in TinyGPU is that all threads converge to the same program counter address after each instruction. While real GPUs handle thread divergence, TinyGPU avoids this complexity to keep the model simple. We have covered the TinyGPU architecture, the components within one core, the 11-instruction ISA, the multi-stage execution, SIMD operation, and kernel examples with full traces. Now let's look at what TinyGPU leaves out. Real GPUs utilize 5 major optimizations not present in this simplified model. These include multi-layer cache, memory coalescing, pipelining, warp scheduling, and branch divergence handling. Memory coalescing combines neighboring memory requests from threads into one trip to external memory. Without it, 4 threads might require 4 separate memory trips, but with coalescing, they are merged into a single, faster trip. Pipelining streams multiple instructions at once. Instead of waiting for one instruction to complete all stages, the next instruction starts as soon as a stage is freed, dramatically improving throughput. Warp scheduling uses multiple thread batches to share a single core. If Warp A blocks on a slow memory load, the core can immediately switch to running Warp B, keeping the silicon continuously busy and hiding latency. Branch divergence is critical for real GPUs. While TinyGPU assumes all threads follow the same path, real GPUs can split a thread block, run each divergent path serially, and then reconverge to continue processing. Real GPUs also allow threads within a block to communicate using shared memory and synchronize at barriers. The barrier ensures all threads have reached a certain point before proceeding, guaranteeing data consistency for shared operations. To explore these concepts further, I encourage you to read the TinyGPU code, which is publicly available on GitHub. It is fewer than 15 files of fully documented Verilog and provides a simple foundation. The big idea behind the GPU is that it is a CPU split in many ways, running the same instruction on different data with specialized hardware to feed them all. Understanding this concept clarifies the entire TinyGPU design. Thank you for watching this deep dive into TinyGPU. If you found this video useful, consider subscribing for more technical content.